Welcome to week 11 of my rebuild after the hurricanes. Hi, I'm Alex, a habitual DIYer. Come join me on my journey. Picking up from last week, I'm painting the walls in the master bathroom, starting with hand painting the perimeter. I end up applying a total of 2 coats of paint utilizing a paint sprayer and allowing the first coat to dry overnight before applying the second coat. After the second coat has been allowed to dry overnight, it's time to remove the protective tape. With the master bathroom completed, it's time to turn my attention to the garage. As mentioned before, the wall adjoining the house in the garage is actually drywalled, unlike the rest of the garage, which is just cinder blocks. I'm going to take the time to paint this area because this is where the washer, dryer, and water heater will sit, and I want it to look a little bit more polished. The ceiling was painted last week, so now I'm beginning the primer on the walls. While the primer is drying, I'm going to wipe down the cinder block walls near the area where the washer and dryer are, as these have not been cleaned since the hurricane and are still coated with the surge water sludge. After the primer has been allowed to dry overnight, I apply the paint on the walls utilizing a paint sprayer. Following the sprayed on paint, I use a hand roller to smooth out any areas with heavier blotches of paint. I didn't particularly like this color, so the following day I repainted the walls with a lighter color. I applied a total of 2 coats of this new color, and after allowing each coat to dry overnight, I was able to remove the protective tape and paper. A link to the tools and materials used in this video can be found in the description section. I had painted a section of the garage floor by the washer and dryer prior to the hurricane, but now it's going to need a fresh coat of paint. I'm first going to scrape off the remnants from the mudding, and then I'll give it a good mop before applying a coat of paint. Now it's time to turn my attention to the kitchen. The back wall of the kitchen used to be the exterior wall and therefore is made of cinder block, so I'm going to need special anchors and screws to be able to hold the railing onto the back wall. As you can see, this left railing is quite bowed from an uneven wall. I don't show it in this video, but I actually do go back and shimmy it so that the railing is straight. The drill bit that came with the anchors wasn't working so well, so I reverted to some drill bits that are specialized for cinder block. I first drilled the pilot hole with a much smaller diameter drill bit and then moved up to the drill bit that was going to accommodate the anchors. With the railings up, it's time to start hanging the cabinets. I'm starting with the corner cabinet as it's going to be the trickiest, sitting on two separate railings. Then it's time to assemble the next cabinet. Time to install the second cabinet. I'd like to take a moment to thank the viewers who have supported my channel either through Buy Me a Coffee or my Amazon wishlist. And then the third cabinet. And with the third cabinet hung, the left side of the kitchen wall cabinets are completed. Before I start hanging the wall cabinets on the back of the kitchen wall, I need to hang this last piece of railing. I will first need to cut it to the appropriate size. Once cut, I mark the holes on the walls where the anchors and screws will go. In drilling the holes, I use the same method as before, starting with a specialized drill bit for cinder block in a smaller diameter than the actual anchor, and then moving up to the appropriate size for the anchor. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more of my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And then it's time to hang cabinet number 4. The door jambs and the head jambs of the newly installed doors only came primed, so they will need a coat of paint. But we first need to fill the holes left behind from the insulation with wood filler and then sand them down smooth prior to painting. Before I end this week's video, I want to give a shout out to my dad, who has helped me wood fill, sand, and paint the door jambs, and has painted all of the doors. I hope you'll join me next week for the next steps in my rebuild process. Thanks for watching.